Alright guys, welcome back to the channel, welcome back to another video. We have the first destination in the EZA Phys Piccolo's Grand Tour of Red Zone, which is against a Mega Shenron. I'm not gonna lie, I do not have the best setup for him right now, and that is mainly because of one unit, and that is because I am missing this man right here. If I had him, a lot of my problems would be solved. It would be a lot easier to build a team. This is one of the better teams I could come up with overall for Red Zone, while also bringing Orange Piccolo with us and having Fizz Piccolo at least under half of a 200% lead. There's also Fuse Fighters, which means I would have to run him on a full 170, which isn't too bad. The only thing is, on Fuse Fighters, he won't link with the Strength Movie Hero Piccolo until we transform him and fuse him with Kami, and he has a different name. So while things aren't as difficult as, say, a Broly where I may have to use that team, we're going to run this. Although this guy really does worry me because he only has a 50% chance to guard. That is also a terrible start. So I'm going to have to start with a Whis, which I really don't want to do, and typically do not have to do. But considering my boy Jeets is potentially going to take a bag of damage because he's in slot 1 and hasn't even super attacked yet, you got to do what you got to do. And of course, you get super attack straight off the bat. How much damage is it going to do with the Whis active? A lot of damage. Yeah, this is a terrible start. I mean, Piccolo's got 7% HP recovery, and because we're at 40% or less, he will recover an extra 7. So I guess at least there's that, right? Yeah, this is just not a good start. I mean, this is a decent setup. We do have some outliers. I mean, Super Saiyan Blue Evolution Vegeta should be okay. It's mainly this guy right here who could be problems. But with both Gammas, Piccolos, well, all the Piccolos, we should actually be able to get through this. It's just to be that unlucky to have SSBE locked immediately and super attacked immediately kind of made huge problems. It's doable, but it's just because I don't have one unit, because I wasn't lucky enough in my summons and I don't have enough coins. This is what's happening right now. This is what's happening right now. I mean, I did try a run with the Fuse Fighters and I did die, but I do know even on a 170 lead, please don't lock him. Oh, Dokkan, what are you doing to me? Why on earth have you locked Gamma 2? Why on earth have you locked Gamma 2? Why couldn't you just seal these two and that was it or something? Why do you have to lock him? Oh, that's really frustrating because now we're going to have to wait for Orange Piccolo to come back around to get the rotation. On top of that, he is also sealed, but at least we have a Whis active, I guess. At least that's some saving grace. But as I said, I did do an initial run with the Fuse Fighters team. It weren't bad. It's just a lot of units need to build up, including Fizz Piccolo. And as I said, Fizz Piccolo doesn't have a different name or shares the same name with the Strength Movie Heroes Piccolo until he fuses, which is a bit of a problem because it means he's not linking to anyone for the time being. I mean, Piccolo just stunned, which is actually great. So already Piccolo has started off with a bang. He started off very well stunning a Mega. But I do know on the first phase, he does tank for double digits off of one super with no item active in slot 1 pre-super, which is very nice. Do you know what? Because you share the same name, for now, I'm actually just going to leave Movie Heroes Piccolo up front. Just because, again, like, I'm not going to move him until I transform Fizz Piccolo with Kami. Shenron's also still stunned as well, which is great. I mean, we don't have that many Movie Heroes category allies on the team, so he's not getting that much of a boost, but he still has guard, and he's also sealed, so Omega's stunned for the rest of the time, and he's going to be sealed next time, which is really nice. It means we're not going to be taking a bag of damage. But as long as we can build up Fizz Piccolo as much as possible before I need to transform him, especially now we have one item, that's going to be more of the case. And again, especially with him potentially being a liability with his 50% chance to guard. Like, if only they gave him 70, right? I mean, at least he stacks attack and can do a lot of damage. So hopefully we can get through this pretty quickly. But we are going to have to be kind of careful in the next phase, because Piccolo's going to have type disadvantage there, and that's where Omega's damage starts to ramp up a bit. So there is that we're going to have to be careful with. Are you locked or sealed? Did you just get both? He got both. I'm going to have to rotate Piccolo off, which is actually really annoying. I mean, we've got the we got the gamma rotation set up, which is what I wanted. It's just this is not how I wanted to do it. Which does mean we're going to miss out on a stack with Piccolo, which is a little bit annoying. Like, while we probably would have only got to stack with him maybe once, twice at a push, which isn't going to change that much, it would have mean he had extra defense going into the next phase, which I would have preferred him having extra padding before going there. But considering he is floating, it does mean he can kind of avoid some of that type advantage attacks coming his way for a little bit. It's like for like a turn or two. It's not long. But I think I would have preferred the extra stack up instead. I mean, at least SSB's got type advantage here. And at least my rotations are like finally in order somewhat. So there is that. To be fair, we could put you in slot 1 and then get Orange Piccolo the key spheres, but instead I'm going to leave you in slot 2. We can get some HP back with these orbs and then the AGL orbs. At least we've managed to recoup a lot of the health we lost. Oh, this might actually hurt a little bit. Just a little bit. Just a tad. Just a tad. Just 400k worth. Oh, I spoke too soon. I literally just said we've managed to recoup a lot of our health and then we've just ended up losing the majority of it. We've got 82k health left, but I mean, at least the super attack is out of the way, right? These first few turns have honestly been an absolute mess. Like, Omega Shenron has already seen me struggling because of the team build and just generally poured salt into the wound. Like, I needed to make my rotations or put my rotations together as quick as possible, and Omega was having none of it. Like, absolutely none of it. I can't believe we're on 66k HP. I'm probably going to have to use a Whis next turn just to be safe. I don't want to, but we might have to. Mainly because God Vegeta's there. Oh, really? You had to dodge that? Like, why'd you have to be such an op? I was going to say, if there were no attacks in slot 3, I wouldn't have to, but we're going to have to. We're going to have to. Like, this really isn't a flare. This really isn't a fair reflection on Fizz Piccolo in the slightest. Like I said, in my initial run on the Fuse Fighter team, where he was linked to pretty much no one, because I completely forgot about him showing the same name with the Strength Movie Heroes Piccolo until he fuses with Kami, off of one super attack, off of literally one stack on a full 170 lead, he took double digits on Omega's first phase, which is kind of a given because he has type advantage, which is good. So he would have been completely fine there no matter what, which I guess is kind of to be expected again because he has type advantage. And then I died immediately on the second phase. But this just isn't a fair reflection on him whatsoever. And he's barely been able to stack because we've had to rotate him off because of the gammas, you know, Omega locking, things like that. That's huge. And if God Vegeta decides he's going to guard, this is actually going to kind of annoy me because it means I probably didn't need to use a Whis this turn. But, you know, you can never be too careful in Dokkan. No, he isn't guarding. But we just about survive. We just about survive. Okay. So, obviously, you're going to go in slot 1. Piccolo is on 255k defense. Of course, that would be a lot higher if we got a few more stacks in the beginning. Which, considering Omega has... Or, no, considering Piccolo has type advantage against Omega in the first phase, we kind of have very low risk at building Piccolo up as much as possible there for as long as we're there, which is very good. We've just been unable to take advantage of that because of Omega being an absolute op and locking certain units in certain places, also where we have to rotate Piccolo off, and all that good stuff. With an item though, and probably near enough 300k defense, with a Whis active, tanking double digits on Omega though, which is good. Again, we do have a Whis active. I mean, I guess at least Fizz Piccolo does have type advantage against Omega's final phase, where he's going to be charging up the super, so there is also that. So that's another pretty decent thing. And again, we've actually managed to recoup a decent amount of our HP back, which is great. We're near to a Dokkan attack, which hopefully we can beat Omega's phase now and take that Dokkan attack into next turn. But this is also the downside, right? Don't get me wrong. I said my only qualm with this Piccolo is I really do wish that 30% chance of launching an additional super was 50 instead. Just to give it a bit more consistency. Like, I don't think it'll give it too much, but just to give it a bit more. The foreseeing enemy super attack, the scouter ability with like no condition is fantastic because it means I can plan my rotations accordingly. Especially it's even more helpful for me considering how much of a mess of a team build we're going to be having between now and any future red zone runs with Fizz Piccolo because I don't have Orange Piccolo. So that's great. The foreseeing enemy super attack in red zone, having it with no condition and having it pretty much at all times is so helpful. Him stacking would be good, but as I said, I just really wish he had a 50% chance of launching an additional super for a bit more consistency than 30. But this is one of the downsides with units that need to stack defense. This is honestly one of the downsides. The fact that you're gonna, you know, sometimes you're gonna have to rotate them off with a mega that's gonna be more so and more true than any red zone boss because of course the locking, the ceiling, etc. You know, having to put your rotations together in the first place, along with having to deal with the locking in the ceiling. He might not get to stack that much. But I mean, almost 300k defense, and the fact that when we fuse him with Kami, he's going to have 40% damage reduction. And then the extra attack and defense on super is pretty good. Do you know what? I'm going to pop this and see if we can just kind of have a rearrangement of the rotation. I mean, Vegeta could be guarding after this. He could have been guarding before we decided to pop this, but I'm going to pop this just so we can have potentially a rearrangement. I also haven't decided if I'm going to transform Piccolo with Kami or fuse him with Kami straight away or have him stack up one more time before I decide to do that. As I said, this is kind of what happens with Red Zone. Sometimes you're going to have to transform a unit, and we saw it with the Year 7 LRs when Red Zone first released. Sometimes you're going to have to transform them earlier than you want them to. But at least Piccolo has a Scouter once he transforms. He still keeps the Scouter when he transforms. And he's been stacking for however long he's been stacking for. And then has 40% damage reduction when he transforms as well, to kind of cover his back. So there is that. But that Scouter at all times, pre and post transformation, is huge. Like, that has kind of helped me not die, along with, of course, using Whis, but of course, I've used them because I've known what's coming. And also, Piccolo is able to stun here, which is great. I mean, this is literally like one of the only difficult red zone stages and phases you can actually stun on, but at least we got to utilize it, right? But I think I may transform him after Orange Piccolo has come out of his giant form, just to kind of use it and do as much damage as possible. So I can't lie, this has been a bit of a sticky run. It's been a bit of a sticky run for us just because of, again, trying to put our rotations together. A Mega Shenron just doing the most op shit I've ever seen and locking like every wrong possible unit and then deciding to super attack me after doing it. I think he's done well. I don't think it's the best reflection of how good this Piccolo can be, but I think he's done well. And also, even though his HP recovery isn't that high, it's kind of stopped us from dying here and there, if only even by a little bit. At least if we transform him, he's then got the crit chance up to 40%, the more HP, which I don't think our HP is in too bad of a spot. And we're going to have a Dokkan attack, so, you know, if I use the Dokkan attack with him, at least he will massively raise attack by 100% on super. He'll do a bit more damage. He's got more crit chance. So I think I'm going to transform him. As I said, I don't think this has been the best reflection of how good this Piccolo can be, but I think he's done well. Given the bad cards we've been dealt, I think he's done pretty well, but I think I'm going to transform him. At least if we do survive, because we have no more Whis, at least he will be able to link up with Strength Movie Heroes Piccolo after that. Oh, we're still going. Okay, okay, I think I'm definitely going to transform him just because we might actually be able to get the win with the type advantage and the Dokkan attack. And even if Fizz Piccolo doesn't beat a Mega Shenron, there's still Orange Piccolo doing the damage that he's going to do. Just, if I had my own copy, the team building would have been a lot more seamless. Like, the runs would have been a lot easier. Oh, if only, man. If only. Like, I'm literally like 90 to 100 coins off being able to get him, which is 10 multis. Oh, it just hurts the soul. It hurts the soul, man. I'm so close. If only they could have slid me one in my Goku summons. Or just my worldwide summon, not worldwide, my Golden Week summons in general. All them featured units are not a single orange Piccolo, and it's coming back to bite me in the ass. And this is another reason why I wanted orange Piccolo, because he puts in absolute work. Absolute work. And then not only that, I'd also have a full 200% lead to put Fizz Piccolo under, but you know. Okay, we're finally out the giant form. What is the rotation now looking like? 2 attacks against Vegeta. Yeah, do you know what? I'm going to transform him. Because at least a Mega can't super here, and if we're going to die because of God Vegeta, like, he's literally a liability. Like, if he doesn't guard, there's a high chance we're going to die. Actually, no, I think if he doesn't guard, we're definitely going to die. At least we get to show off Piccolo being fused for 1 turn. So he has just shy of 300k defense. Again, he's barely been able to stack, so his defense isn't that high. But still, we're about to get a Dokkan attack with him. He should be okay in slot 1 with the pretty much 300k defense and, you know, the 40% damage reduction. Don't forget, that is literally just under 300k defense and damage reduction. There we go. Double digits. That's fantastic. He does have type advantage. Right. We have full health. So we have a 40% chance to crit right now. Along with the fact, of course, we have him rainbowed and I have some in crit. It's a bit of an even split. I probably should have gone more additional, but is where it is. Of course, there's no super attack because Omega's charging, but we could actually just straight up beat the event right now. Come on, get a crit. Get an additional super attack as well. He's also got that 70% chance of launching an additional super attack right now as well. 9.2 more damage. There's the additional 6.5. Hoping that's the passive one. And then we can hit a dupe system additional. Big 5 milli crit. I mean, he's done well. He's done like, what, 14 million damage in total there? See, as I said, he's good. He has so much going for him. Good damage output once he's transformed. Can be very good defensively depending on how much you stack him, along with the damage reduction once he's transformed. And the Scouter ability at all times is honestly a godsend. It's just the fact that I don't have Orange Piccolo and I don't have the best setup and team builds for Fizz Piccolo right now that really hurts him. I mean, Jeet's even throw out a crit. He's even guarding, but he's taken 100. I mean, we survived, but he's taken so much damage. I mean, at least we didn't die, right? At least we didn't die and we managed to beat the event. I said, I still don't think he's had a good reflection on how good Fizz Piccolo can be. But he's still done pretty well. He tanked really well, given the fact he, as I said, he hasn't actually managed to stack up all too much. Because of Omega, like, locking units and ruining my rotations. But considering how bad of a run it actually was, Fizz Piccolo actually done really, really well. I'm a big fan of this EZA. I just wish I had Orange Piccolo to go with him. I'm not gonna lie, the harder red zone stages are gonna be a struggle with the teams I'm gonna have to use. But he's really good. He's really, really good. If that bad run doesn't show you how good he can be, I don't know what to tell you. But let me know your thoughts down in the comments. Don't forget to drop a like and subscribe if you're new. I'll see you in the next video, guys. No idea why I said it like that. Guys, hope you have a good rest of your day, guys. Have a good rest of your day, guys. Take care and peace.